SSI tutorial user guide. I just got asked a question on YouTube about the different settings. I'll be absolutely honest, there are so many settings on the FX SSI. I haven't really studied them all. Some of them are confusing, I will admit. So I've just stuck to what I do know, and I really just use the ratios and the derivatives and the stop loss clusters. I try and keep it simple. We can have the order book, which shows you where the stops are and the current positions, but for me, I personally quite like a cleaner layout. So see here, for example, the Euro USD, we can see their stops. So that's all we're really interested in. It's just the target areas. So of the two, the one above is larger, but technically it's looking quite heavy there. And this is a bearish action as well because they're going along. They decided to buy at 118.87. We can talk about the profit ratio perhaps. Insert indicator, custom, profit ratio, comment, allow. So it's quite useful. What will happen is that if we ever get any spikes above the volume, the median line, then that's like an indication of like, uh-oh, the retailers are making money. So it's like a warning sign. And here they're actually profiting from this move. There, they had some nice profits there. So that would be slightly unusual. It's quite a good indicator, but I just try and keep things a bit simple. It's a bit easier. So all we really want to know is like the movement across time for the buyers and where to target. And if you can get them to align with your technical analysis, then that's great. Monthly resistance 1 is 118.02. Your stop loss clusters at 118.09. So let's go put potential target area. Moving averages a week. And again, like I say, this is quite bearish, so it can come down. And we have to remember the fundamental reasons too. Of the derivatives, I use the median volume by positions. So that's what MVP means, which is that line. Essentially, it's just a way of looking at like a support, so like a VWAP almost. If we were to go on a different time frame, perhaps it might be better. So I can have to go to the history. Let's do 6 months history. Okay. There we go. So it sort of sticks to it quite a lot, and when it breaks below, then it's quite a good sell. Yeah, so we're seeing like some testing of that line and above, and we sort of have that as a support. See how it works. It's quite useful. It's quite nice. It's just a nice addition. The derivatives. You can use support resistance, which is something I don't personally do. It makes it look a bit messier. This is your a thing called gravity level, which I think is in development, and these are potential reversal levels, which is PR, potential reversal. But I think that's in, like, they're still testing that in development mode. It's not quite right. So yeah, overbought is up here, and oversold would be down there. Take your pivots and stuff. Yeah, I mean, don't forget also to, when you're trading as well, you need to remember the fundamental reasons for something to move as well, because if we're going risk off, then this is going to affect this currency pair, whatever happens, whatever the technical is or the sentiment. If we go fully risk off, like the Dow Jones drops a load of points, and this is going to affect this pair because the dollar will strengthen because it's a safe haven, where the euro is like a risky asset. So it's all a case of checking your fundamental. Just look at your stocks and your technical, so check your pivots, and then your sentiment as well. So H4 is sort of sideways really, but if we were to go to a different time frame and zoom up a bit, stretch that back up, and we take these guys off, see, it's quite bearish. There, they went long. So it's just a case of just getting things to align. Perhaps I could talk about the order book while I'm here. It won't take too long. essentially there's two histograms. There's the stops and your limits, and these are your current positions, which I'll show you now. Insert indicators, custom, order book, allow. You have to remember to allow DLL imports, otherwise it won't load. Okay, so that's where the stop loss cluster is. You see how there's like a node that's just sticking out above the norm, and that's where the stops are. For currently, at this precise moment in time, that's where the retail heard of their stops at 118.51, and the one below, and we see how there's a node that's sticking out here, 118.09. So we can see how we can use it to target. Assuming we break this diagonal, we can target this, but because of the dynamic is saying sell, I think we might come down to get this. So I mean, you can probably understand why I don't have the order book on my daily videos, because it doesn't create an extra layer, which I don't think is really that necessary, because you can see the stop loss clusters, and just having those digits are probably easier on the eye. Let's take them off. Oh, where are we? Order book, delete. There you go. See, I mean, it's useful, but I just like to have the stop loss clusters. It's just makes it a bit cleaner. And this is also an indicator from FX SSI, is your support resistant boxes, and your auto trend lines are also from FX SSI as well. One last thing is these lines here, in case you're wondering, these are old stops, and this is where the old stops were. So they've obviously been, negated over time. But that's what that means. So there was one here that got taken out. That one wasn't was left dormant. They left that to hibernate, and this one has obviously moved lower as well. So that's where the old stop loss clusters were. So yeah, hopefully it helps. Just get your fundamentals to align. Check your S&P. How's that doing? It's looking okay, but it's a bit treacherous. Perhaps we could perhaps break that moving average and come down to MR1. If so, then this will come down. But yeah, get your things to align. You should be okay. So not an amazing video about the FX SSI indicators, but purely because I only like to use what I know, and there are other things that you can do, but I'm wary about over complicated matters when we have a working system, and all you really need to know is direction and target, and that's what we do. So hopefully it's a good video. Don't forget you can get this all for free on the starter pack that's called the FX Multimeter, and the FX SSI does come at a cost, but it is amazing, and I do highly recommend it. If you join the QuasiDB, I've got a promo code for you, and that gives you a 70% discount. So it's worth signing up, and then you can see how things work and stuff. So yeah, hopefully it helps, and have a good day, and I'll speak to you later.